Hello everyone, I'm BatPan, a bat who jumps from the Eiffel Tower. In this series of videos, we'll learn the functions that might be helpful when we want to create a game. I recently published a retro VHS style horror game. You can also check that out. I'll leave a link to it in the description. Our dear friend asked us a question. He said what to do if we want to interact with different objects other than, for example, one mannequin. So I had an idea. I said why not make an extended example of that interaction system. The actual interaction function we created is in the video showing on your screen right now, and you can get to it with a link in the description, or click on top of your screen. With all these being said, let's begin. In here we have 4 different objects. 2 of them are mannequins, one of them is a door and the other is a sofa. To interact with each one of these 2 are not the same, so we'll give each one of them a different tag that we can interact with each one of them separately. So to actually create the function, we're gonna first give all of them a tag. This one has a tag, this one has a tag as well, this one doesn't have a tag. So I go to the door, I give it a box collider. Okay, you see the collider being here. You can move the collider, you can just touch these so it is actually center, or you can, as I said in the interaction video, you can just you can deactivate this and add a 3D cube. You can deactivate the mesh render so you can actually see the door. I deactivate the box collider on the object. I have a box collider here. I added a cube as you guys saw. This is my collider that I interact with. I'm gonna call it door collider. So when we want to give a tag, we give it to this. I'm just going to give it a tag. I'm going to add a tag. I'm going to give it a tag of door. I go to door collider. I give it a tag of door. When you create a new tag, it doesn't change it automatically. You guys have to go again in the object and give it manually. So I give it the tag of door. I go to the sofa. I do the same for this one as well. You can just give it a box collider here. I'm just going to I'm going to add a tag for it. I'm going to call the tag sofa. I'm going to go to it again and give it manually again. So this has a tag of sofa, this has a tag of door, this has a tag of doorway. I know it sounds weird, but this one has a tag of doorway. We can give it another tag. Yeah, let's give it another tag so we don't confuse it. I'm going to call it mute mannequin. Manic stands for mannequin. Okay, I'm gonna give it the mute mannequin. This was the thing outside the code. Now let's go inside the code. We're gonna go down. In here, when we said if we hit a mannequin, we do this. Inside else says if we hit anything other than the thing said above. So we said mannequin. And here, if we want to add another tag, interact with another object, we're just gonna say else if. This else if is important, because if you don't put the else if here, it's just gonna say if we don't hit this one, then do for example, make the interact the text empty. For example, I'm gonna say hit one dot collider dot compare tag. Give it a tag of door. So this has a tag of door. What I said is if we don't say else if, it's gonna say, for example, we say if. I'm gonna read the code for you. It says if we hit a mannequin, do this. If we hit a doorway, do this. This else means if we hit something other than the door, because we didn't say else. If you said else, it would be a chain reaction. This else is important part. So you're just gonna say else if and do this. We hit a doorway. What do I wanna do when we hit a doorway? I'm just gonna say interact text. The text open door, and if we input that down and we have pressed E, and if we pressed E, we want to open the door opening function. What if we interacted with the mannequin? We're just gonna say else if hit one dot collider dot compare tag mute mannequin. Just gonna say interact text the text talk with mute mannequin. Then we say if we hit E, key down, key code dot E, talk with mute mannequin function. We say if we hit this, else we hit this, else we hit this, else we hit the thing other than the things above. We have a sofa too, so we're just gonna say hit one collider dot compare tag sofa. Just gonna say interact text dot text sit on sofa. Then we go here and say if we press E, so we say input dot get key down key code dot E. So if we hit E, we're just gonna say sit on sofa function. So that's how you interact with them. For the function, you guys can do whatever you want. For example, if you want to talk, you can use this, the thing I said in the previous video. For example, for the sofa, I'm gonna say start coroutine, sit on sofa, CO, which stands for coroutine. Go down here, you say enumerator, sit on sofa. We'll just say subtext, the text is equal to empty. For example, we said, it's gonna say, for example, I don't need to sit on the sofa right now. And here we just say for each char C in order, subtext, the text plus equals C, will return new. Wait for seconds, 0.25 f second. This is how to write the text partly and letter by letter. I told you guys how you guys can do this. You guys can access it right now on top of your screen, or you can go to it with the link in the description. Then we wait for seconds, wait for example 1 second. Then we deactivate this, so we say subtext left text equal to empty, and we can interact is equal to true. So because when we interact with sofa, we don't want to be able to interact with the mannequin, for example, before we are finished interacting with the sofa. So when we want to wait for a second and then do something, we're just gonna say up here, we just say I do this in here, you guys can do it at the start. I'm gonna do it here. I'm just gonna make the interact text empty, and then say can interact is equal to false, so we can't interact until this start coroutine is finished. And it's gonna wait 1 second and say this, and wait 1 second, and it's gonna again interact with it. This was the sit on sofa function. What about the function for talking with a mute mannequin? Again, I'm gonna say start coroutine. I'm just gonna say talk with mute manic CO, which stands for coroutine. You can just copy the name with Control C and paste it with Control V. Subtext of text, folder, hello. You can add a dialogue, whatever you want. I'm just gonna say this, but this one is actually okay. I'm just gonna say subtext, the text is plus equal to C, yield, then new, wait for seconds, 0.25 f seconds. Then we wait for a mouse press, then we go and say another thing. Think is mute for 1 second, then we reset everything. So we say reset, and we reset everything under here. These green things won't count. These are just comments I add so you guys can understand what I'm doing. So here we're just gonna say subtext the text equal to empty, and the can interact equal to true, so we can interact again like this. I'm just gonna say interact text the text equal to empty, and can interact is equal to false. I want the door to open and close, so I created a simple animation for it. As you guys see, it is a simple animation. It opens, it closes, and it opens again. It is just opening and a closing animation. I'm just gonna add a part for door, an animator. I'm gonna call it door anim. Then I'm gonna say a boolean door is open, which is closed at the start, so we make it equal to false at the start. Then we go down here, we check if door is open is equal to false. If the door was actually closed, we open. Then we say else if door is open is equal to true, and if the door was actually open before, we close. To open the door, I'm just gonna create two different functions. So to create this, I'm just gonna say start coroutine, open door, CO, which stands for coroutine again, and a start coroutine again, I'm just gonna say close door, CO, which again stands for coroutine, enumerator, close door coroutine, enumerator for open door coroutine. We first open the door. To open the door, we're just gonna say door anim.set integer C1. In the animators, I created an integer and named it C, and in the animator, I set the conditions to be if the C is actually equal to 1, we open the door, and if C is actually equal to 2, we just close the door. So this is the conditions. Then we have to wait for example, 2 seconds, because the animation is 1.5 a second, 1.5 a second. So we wait for 2 seconds, then we reset everything. Can interact is equal to true, and we make the is open equal to true as well, because the door is actually open now. This was for the open door. For the close, we kind of do the same thing, so we can copy this. Instead of 1, we put 2. Instead of door is open equal to true is equal to false, and can erect is actually equal to true. And again, up here, I'm just going to do with this. We just add this in erect text dot text equal to empty is equal to false. You can just copy this and paste it here as well. So let's go to our code. It needs an animator, of course, because we asked for an animator. It needs an animator. We can right click on here and give it like this, or you can drag and drop your animation here. In here, instead of say open door, we're just gonna say door, so we don't open and close it. If you want to, you can actually do this one. Say if door is open is actually equal to false. You can say else if door is open is actually equal to true. You can add 2 conditions. Say if the door was actually closed. Say if the door was actually closed, then you have to open it to say open door. And if the door was actually open, we're just gonna say in erect text closed door. This is a condition you set to say if it is open or closed. For the sofa, it says I don't need to sit on the sofa right now, and it deactivates, and I can interact with it again. For the open door, we can open it, we can close it. So when I'm talking to him, I cannot interact with anything else, as you guys see, because can interact was actually equal to false. When we started talking to say hello, I think he's mute. That's it. And if we want to interact with him, we can interact. This is how you guys interact with different objects in your game. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I tried to explain it as simple as I could. If you did enjoy the video, a like would be amazing. And you can subscribe to see more contents like this. Ask any questions you have or write any opinions you have in the comment section. I would be glad to answer them. I'm gonna go do something for the end of the video, as I did in all my videos.
29 and I find myself wondering what did happen to the last 10. I ran away with my life, fast forward, never turn back again.
So this is what I created for the end of the video, using the things said in the video. I hope you like it.
And 19 was the year I had to leave you, but now I'm seeing all the signs. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening? I can't be too sure, but one day again. Life lessons come 1 in a dozen. The other 11 give something from nothing. I sit here looking for an answer. Maybe the biggest question was in the last chapter. You gave me the soul I have today. Without you I never could have moved away. But now I see what you teach. I do believe I always should have stayed. Yeah. Is this really happening?
Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.